Let's dive right in. Ethics in counselling isn't just about following rules, is it? It's really about creating a safe, trusting space for clients. At the end of the day, ethics are like the invisible framework holding therapy together.
Absolutely. And what strikes me is how those ethical principles like confidentiality and informed consent are basically the foundation for everything else. When clients know their information is safe and they have real choices, they're so much more likely to open up and invest in the process.
It's true. Without that sense of safety, you just can't get to the heart of someone's struggles. And it's not just about the client. Either for therapists, those principles are a lifeline in tough situations.
Right. Because ethical codes aren't just a comfort blanket, they're also a guide when things get murky. Like, say, if there's a risk of harm, suddenly you're balancing trust with a duty to protect. That's where the real complexity kicks in.
Speaking of trust, confidentiality is often the first thing people think about when it comes to therapy. But it's not as black and white as many assume, is it?
Honestly, it's one of the trickiest areas. Most people walk in expecting a vault, but there are those key exceptions, like when someone's at risk of harming themselves or others, or in cases of child abuse. The law actually requires counselors to break confidentiality in those situations.
Exactly. And I think it's crucial that therapists lay out those boundaries right from the first session. I've seen clients feel blindsided when they learn that not everything stays private. A good counselor will be upfront about the limits before any sensitive topics come up.
It can be awkward, but it's totally necessary. I've had sessions where explaining those exceptions actually made the client feel more respected, because they understood that the counselor is looking out both for them and for the bigger picture. That transparency really matters.
That actually reminds me, informed consent is another area that gets glossed over sometimes. People often think it's a one-time form, but it's way more than paperwork, right?
For sure. Real informed consent means making sure the client understands what therapy involves, what their rights are, and that they can walk away at any time, no hard feelings. I always stress that participation should be voluntary, and that clients should feel empowered, not pressured.
And it's not just at the start either. I've noticed that the best therapists check in regularly if they want to try a new technique, or if something about the process changes. It's another opportunity to explain and get fresh consent. It's ongoing.
Exactly. Especially with things like recording sessions or bringing in a supervisor. It's about keeping the client in the loop. When people feel in control and informed, it strengthens the therapeutic alliance.
Funny how we keep circling back to trust. Even competence is an ethical issue at heart. Counselors need to stick to their expertise, don't they?
Yes, and there's a real humility required. I remember early in my career, I worked with a client who had a complex trauma history way outside my training at that time. Referring them out, even though it felt tough, was the most ethical choice.
That takes integrity. And it's not just about knowledge, it's about being honest with clients, about your own limits, your role, and even fees or expected outcomes. If a therapist can't be transparent, clients pick up on it right away.
Totally agree. And ongoing education or supervision isn't just a box to tick. It's about being accountable and making sure you're giving clients the best care possible, especially as new research changes the field all the time.
Let's shift gears a bit. Cultural sensitivity is getting a lot more attention these days, with good reason. It's not enough to treat every client the same, is it?
Not at all. Every client brings their own cultural lens, and it's on the counselor to recognize and respect those differences. One client might see family involvement as central, while another prefers to keep things private. That's where being open and curious really pays off.
And it goes deeper than language or background. Intersectionality means people face overlapping identities and challenges, so a one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't cut it. The best counselors are always learning and adapting their methods.
Right. And it's also about recognizing our own biases. I think regular reflection and peer supervision help a lot if you're not checking yourself. It's easy to miss how your own assumptions might creep in. Clients deserve to feel fully seen and respected, without judgment.
So, what happens when ethical principles collide? Like, say, when protecting a client's confidentiality conflicts with a legal duty to report.
That's where things get really challenging. Following an ethical decision-making framework can help a step-by-step process, like clarifying the issue, consulting guidelines, seeking supervision, and documenting everything. It's rarely a simple call.
And supervision is so valuable here. Talking through tough situations with a more experienced colleague can shed light you might not see on your own. Ethical growth really is a lifelong journey.
Absolutely. The field changes, society changes, and counselors need to evolve too. It's all about staying humble and committed to doing the right thing both for your clients and for your own integrity as a professional.